We're drawing Jabber from Gachiakuta. This is a commission for our homegirl Vayy for her birthday/graduation. Hey, what up, YT? Ace is the name that they gave me, aka Radical. Alright, check me out. Let's dance. No pencil sketch. Marker sketch this time. Permanent marker, Sharpie. We're doing that because the canvas that we're working on is an art book. It's gonna have a black background, so we leave the marker there so that when we apply the paint on top, it'll still show some of that black line work. It'll be a bit transparent. This is a piece that we're doing for the young homegirl, Vayy. She's an upcoming artist herself. Upcoming, she's been doing it quite a while on her own merit. I'm a fan of her pieces. She's on YouTube as well. I will tag her in this. Give her a follow, give her a subscribe. This was a graduation piece done for her. And this is Jabber from Gachiakuta, a personal favorite of mine, a favorite of both of ours. When applying the paint that you see me applying on right now, it's not acrylic paint, it's some kind of block paint. I didn't know what kind of paint it was exactly, but that was my first mistake because when I apply the paint on top of that, they kind of mix and blend together. Didn't want that. When you see the piece right here in the all white right after it dried, it reminds me of the God statue that's connected to the architect in Solo Leveling. That was delightful, a delightful accident that I did there. Of course, that's not what we were drawing, though. Jabber from Gachiakuta. This character is a new personal favorite for a villain. Personal favorite as in, like, it's not about his power in the grand scheme, like how I like Gin Ichimaru. That's a personal favorite as a villain, even though he's not, he has nuances to his villainy. But Aizen would be the bigger villain in Bleach. But Aizen's not my favorite. It's Gin. Or like Stark. I like Stark, too, in Bleach. Though they're not a villain like Jabber is. Maybe Hisoka, who I like because he's a clown and his fight scenes are dope. But he ends up helping Gon at one point too. I don't have a good example, but we love Jabber. We're using raw sienna, the color, on the skin. And then at one point we add some white to the raw sienna. I don't have the raw sienna next to me. This is burnt umber. We use that for the hair. But we added white to the raw sienna to make the skin more pale, to look more skin tone like. Jabber became an automatic favorite because he reminds me of Amaranth Coral from Final Fantasy IX. A bit about Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy, but when Final Fantasy first came out, man, that game was kicking my butt. I didn't enjoy it for nothing. I wanted to beat it though, and I wanted to get far and advance in it, but I just couldn't rock. It was like when Zelda first came out too. That game kicked my butt as well. But yeah, as the world fell in love with Final Fantasy VII, I missed that boat. It didn't register to me because I played the Final Fantasy games and it was like, oh no, I can't play that game. I suck at it. But then Final Fantasy IX came out and that was my man's. That was my game. Zidane was the protagonist and Amaranth was one of the party members that you collected. You could name them your own names. I would always name Amaranth Radical and Zidane was Ace. And they are highly similar. They don't have the same skin tone. They both have dreads. They use a claw type weapon and they both utilize poison. Now the mangaka of Gachiakuta, I don't know what she likes, what she plays. I don't know if she's inspired by Final Fantasy IX, but immediately when I saw Jabber, I thought of Amaranth from Final Fantasy IX. And he's my favorite in Final Fantasy IX. So Jabber's my favorite here. You'll see that we use Sharpie markers for details on the face. We used the Dabo and Shobo markers that I have to color the shade on the face. Oddly enough, whenever I use Dabo and Shobo cool grade number 7, you can see that it shows. That's how dark it is on above the eyes right now. But when I use number 5, 3, or 1, it just wouldn't compute. It wouldn't go on top of the skin. I blame the block paint still. I think if I used acrylic skin, it would work better. I don't know. We utilize some Posco markers. As you see that we just do that on the eye. We'll do that on the graffiti piece as well. For the teeth, we start with the Dabo and Shobo markers, but then it doesn't take, again, the block paint. I would notice that as I was coloring with the Dabo and Shobo, the block paint would leave residue on the marker itself, leaving it obsolete. But once I switched to a Crayola marker, a gray Crayola marker, it worked out just fine. And it added a bonus effect that made it look like a cool gray kind of thing. It added a cooling color to it. And we like that. I was happy. We use Sharpie markers again on the teeth, which might be a future mistake because when we use the acrylic protector on top, I think that's what makes the Sharpie marker leak. However, it only does it on the teeth. Ultimately, I know I was too close when I was spray painting. That's neither here nor there. Posca markers for the skin. I mean, not for the skin, for the outlines. You'll see us do that a couple of times because we keep repainting over and then we have to put the line so that you can still see the line on top. I am very much so enjoying watching Gachiakuta. Looking forward to the next season. It's off right now. Need to know more. I read some of the manga too. Not too much, but I'm gonna buy more and read the rest. It's fun. Another mistake that we are about to make. I mentioned that we used burnt umber for the hair. We were supposed to apply just a little bit of black to that burnt umber right here. And then use that for the shading on the top part of the hair and the side of the dreads. However, when I went to my workspace, I must have forgot this at home because I didn't have it on me, and we ended up using Mars Black instead. It got the job done, but it made like it didn't flow so easily with the color, in my personal opinion, and I'm the type to judge my work harshly. So yeah, I was like, nope, that's not good. We used some color pencils. We wanted to be able to do the glow effect on the eye. I don't know how to do the glow effect on the eye. I don't know how to do a glow effect when acrylic painting. These are things I still need to learn. As I mentioned before, pencil sketching is where I come from, and acrylic painting and digital art are all new things that I keep learning from. Well, everything, you learn, but pencil sketching I've been doing the longest. I'm most comfortable there. Everything else I'm like learning something new, applying new skills, practice. We're doing the graffiti, tagging up Vayy. Of course, hindsight is 2020, so I believe now that I should have just left the whole piece without an acrylic cover, the spray paint cover that I'm going to apply, which is what makes it drip just a little bit. It doesn't drip too much, but I don't like that I didn't plan on making it do that drip. It does look like a delightful accident, like a happy accident, especially because Jabber is involved with poisoning, so it kind of gives that effect on the piece when you see it. You'll see it at the end. But looking back again, I'm like, it's bittersweet. Part of me is like, I wish I just didn't do the spray paint on top cover then, and it would just been nice and flat. Maybe got dirty here or there or whatever. But I did the cover because I was like, I want to leave it with a more protective casing because the person, Vayy, is going to be walking around with it, using it. Made sense to me. Alright, we done. Thank you for sticking around. If you stuck around for this long, like, share, subscribe if you with this noise. I really do appreciate you for your view. Thank you. You can follow me at SpiltInkAce on all of the platforms. TikTok, Instagram. In my years of gaming, as I gained more experience, I finally went back and played more of the Final Fantasy games. Finally played the Final Fantasy 7, 8, went back to play the older ones too. When I said I first played them, I'm talking about 1, 2, and 3. Those games was hard. When I compared it to Zelda, that was my comparison. Went back and played Zelda again. After finally, I'm not sure, but I want to say that I beat 64 first and then went back and beat the older ones. But eventually I went back and beat them. Alright, that's all. Until next time. Later.